Hi, it's been a while since I made a video. I've given up on YouTube for a while, and I apologise if this is a bit wobbly because I came out and didn't bring my gimbal with me because I didn't expect to be making a video today. But it does seem like the universe has been nudging me as I received my first comment and follower for a while. I've been focusing mainly on my blog and teaching meditation, and I'm just staying near Brisbane at the moment doing a work away, and I followed my heart today. I didn't really know what I was going to do. I fancied going to the beach, and I took a bus to Redlands because it looked like there were some beaches there. And when I got off the bus, it was right next to a ferry terminal, and there was one about to leave, so I just got on this ferry and came over to Russell Island. I'm just sitting here waiting for the ferry back. And what's been interesting, I came out today, and my day off, it's Saturday as I make this video, and I have been feeling quite inspired, which goes back to a video I made probably about 10 months ago when something similar happened when I went to the Mornington Peninsula. I've been struggling all week trying to get things done and not really doing a lot. So if this is your first time here at my channel, welcome. I'm Helen. I'm 62 years old, and as you can hear by my accent, I'm British, but I'm actually starting a new life over down under. So give me a like, give me a follow, and let me know in the comments anything that you enjoy about the video, any questions. Yeah, so and I was also listening to this week to some videos. Yeah, so I was also listening to some videos this week on YouTube, actually, about trauma. It was a series, and I'd started writing a blog post earlier in the week, and then this came up and it felt very pertinent. So I just want to talk about how I've been affected. I'm not talking about what happened to me, because trauma isn't what happens to you. It's about how the mind and body responds to what's happened and how it affects you in your life. And I've had some insights on that. So if by me sharing this it helps anybody else, then great. I felt stuck for a lot of my life, and I realised that actually one of my patterns is doing puzzles, and that goes back to when I was at university, like 44 years ago, when I was 18, and realising that it's a way of kind of like regulating myself. And it doesn't matter how motivated I am, and I always thought I wasn't motivated, but I am motivated. And the problem is when you are stuck in that kind of trauma loop, it's because so I'm reading from my notes here, that the complex trauma means that the brain doesn't develop properly. That might be through a lack of affection. It doesn't even have to be anything really bad like child abuse or being in a war zone. It could just be a constant lack of receiving affection, for example, being validated, being seen, being listened to, being heard. So and also and I'm quoting trauma experts here. This was Tim Fletcher, and he's a Canadian expert on trauma, and I forgot what I was going to say then. But anyway, because of that, you know, the brain acts on feelings and finds it difficult to make long-term decisions, even when we're adults. And that is really what's been happening to me a lot of my life. I'd look at other people, and obviously I know everybody's got their problems, and I'm not saying that they're doing any better than I am. I've done the best that I can, and I've also become a lot more compassionate to myself and know that I'm not lazy. I don't suffer from lack of motivation. If you follow me, you know that I also teach meditation. I've been meditating for a long time, and I observe this. I see it happening, And so for a long time I didn't know why. Like, well, I know this, why is it still happening? And now I understand, and that's good. Bessel van der Kolk says that you can't do it on your own, and I've tried to do it on my own, and I would probably testify to that, but I think there are things that you can do. And so I'm making the best of my life. I don't have a lot of money. I spent a lot of money on coaches, realising that that's probably because I was trying to heal my trauma, and a lot of them are very good at marketing and speaking to pain points, and so I think it's going to work, and it doesn't. And I would have been better spending that money on some good therapy. So I just heard a ferry then in the background. But yeah, so this week I have been spending probably several hours a day doing Sudokus, really hard ones, because I feel it kind of does something to my brain. And this started when I was at university, when I was 18, and somebody introduced me to logic puzzles. And back then obviously we didn't have the internet, and I used to buy these little magazines that were just full of them, and I would sit for hours doing these puzzles. And now I kind of understand why. When my ex-husband died a year later, I sort of fell apart because all the pain, all the trauma came up, and I got through that by doing jigsaw puzzles. I did a lot of jigsaw puzzles in lockdown as well, and so that's kind of what I do. And also I kept it secret for a long time. I thought, I was ashamed, I felt embarrassed, because why am I spending all my time playing these games, doing puzzles, when other people have got successful careers and businesses, and I haven't, and I can't even get off my couch. So, and now I understand why, and that's how it has affected me. And I would love to get some proper therapy, but I can't, at the moment I don't have the funds. So also, this is it's a new year, first day of double digits actually, a year 2 days ago since I arrived in Australia permanently. And so my intention for this year, or what I would love, is to be believed in. Somebody to see my potential, because I know that I have potential and I can do stuff. I'm very good at decluttering and organising, I've discovered, to doing workaways, and I think it's kind of that, similar to doing the puzzles, there's that kind of my brain wanting structure, wanting order, and that's a way of helping other people, and it's also doing something physical, getting out of my head. It's like all the journaling, all the talking about it will not make it go away. It's about getting into the body, doing something physical. With the meditation, that helps as well, because like now I'm sitting on a concrete block and I can feel it underneath my legs, underneath my sitting bones, and my feet on the ground are sort of grounding myself. So I have these tools, and I'm not saying this to sort of be a victim, because I say that to myself a lot of the time, that I'm being silly or whatever, and it's not real, and I should just pull my socks up or whatever, which is not really very helpful. So I'm learning to have compassion for myself and working through this. So my dream this year is to be able to spend more time writing and sharing about my experiences to help other people, and I'd like to be able to have the means to do that. So I'm building up my following on Insight Timer, so you can help me by doing that, and I'm earning some money from that. At the moment it's not enough to live on, but I'm building that up gradually. I've got somebody helps me with the tech stuff. I mean, it's not that I can't do it, but that's not what I want to be spending my time on. So happy new year, and welcome if this is your first time here at my channel. And you can support me in my dream by buying me a cup of tea. The link is in the description below. By following, if I can get enough views, enough likes, enough followers, I have to have at least 1,000 and then 4,000 hours. So I've got quite a way to go, but it is possible. And as I said, I'm not focusing on that right now, unless, say for example, this video suddenly went viral and I started earning, then I would. But I'm focusing on what's working. But I just thought I'd give a little update. So I've lost a few followers over the last few months, so if you were considering unfollowing me, I would just request that you do keep following me, because I will be posting occasionally. I'm not going to promise that I will post regularly, because I don't know, and everything will help me towards my dream to be able to afford to have, I'd really like to try EMDR actually, and I've tried to get it, you know, on the NHS back home. But part of the problem was that because I can explain what's happening to me, people don't believe you then. I'm not saying my doctors didn't. It was more the DWP trying to get help and support while I got my life back on track. So I'm doing it myself. I'm coming to Australia, starting my life over, following my heart, and you don't need a lot of money to do it. I think I talked about that in a previous video. I'll put the link below about travelling on a budget. You can do quite a lot with very little. Anyway, again, thanks for following and watching, and I'll see you again sometime. And in the meantime, take care, go well, lots of love.